I'll be the first to admit that I have a problem. I love starting a new book series, but finishing those series, not so good at. Today, I'm exposing myself and sharing all of the book series that I have started but never finished. Please do not judge me, or at least keep it to a minimum, okay? Make sure to subscribe for more bookish content if you haven't already, and comment down below if any of these are worth finishing or if you suffer from the same problem. We're starting off strong with the first one being The Hunger Games. I think I read the first 2 books, but I never read the 3rd book and I never watched the 3rd movie. I genuinely do not know how this series ends. I started reading this series back before I would consider myself as being a reader, so I wasn't reading often. And if I'm gonna be so honest, don't hate me, but I don't think I'm ever gonna finish this series. Maybe I'll watch the last movie, maybe, but I just, the time has passed, truly, for me to finish this. I feel very similar about the 2nd book. It's the Divergent series. I know, everyone loves it and I should have read it, and don't know why I did this to myself, but I think I read these in my senior year too. I think I got like halfway through the 2nd book, or maybe I finished the 2nd book, I'm not sure. And then I definitely did not finish the 3rd book. We were waiting for the part 2 of the last movie. I totally would have watched the last movie, but it never came out, and I'm still a little sad about that. But yeah, just like Hunger Games, I don't see myself finishing the series. I'm definitely not going to read it, and if they're not going to produce the last movie, then sorry. Okay, another really strong one is Harry Potter. I started reading them senior year, I think, too. I read up to the Order of the Phoenix, or the Order of Phoenix, or whatever. Maybe the Half-Blood Prince. I'm not sure, one of those. And I just was done. I was done. I've watched all the movies, so I knew it was going to happen, so I wasn't motivated to keep reading the books because I already knew the main plot lines. I know they're different. I know the books are better. I knew what was going to happen, and I just was not motivated to read those books. I'm not going to finish reading them. Okay, number 4 is a little different. This is the Matched series by Ali Condi. I loved these books when I first read them. I think I remember waiting for maybe the 2nd book to be released when I had read the first, and then I can't remember if I read the 2nd book fully or not, but follows the same theme of like a dystopian love triangle situation. Yeah, I really did enjoy these when I read them, and now that I'm thinking about it, maybe I will go back and finish them, but it's definitely not a priority. Similarly, number 5 is the Everlife series by Gina Showalter. I'm not entirely sure how to say her name, but I remember reading the first book in the series, and I remember loving it so much. Like, I was obsessed with it when I first read it, and then I can't remember if I read the 2nd, and I can't remember I definitely didn't read the last one, but I did really enjoy them, and it's another like dystopian fantasy situation. And now that I'm thinking about this one, I think I really do want to go back and finish it, and maybe I'll do a vlog. I don't think I've ever really heard people talking about this series either. I don't know how I found it or why I started reading it, but I loved it. Okay, so those are my first 5 that I started reading during high school or in that time frame. And now these next ones are all ones that I started reading once I became a reader, and that's about around like the 2020 COVID era, so that's what these ones are. First on the list is It Ends With Us. I don't know if this fully counts because I don't know if it's really a series. There's just kind of, I guess there is. There's another book in it. Maybe it's just a duology. I never read It Starts With Us, and I will not ever read It Starts With Us. And then the whole movie came out, and I was excited to go see the movie, and then all the movie drama. So now I'm just kind of, the drama, everything. I am so far in the Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, like, court drama, legal battle, whatever's going on, and I'm good. I'm done. Moving right along. The 2nd series is the Twisted series by Anna Huang. I only have 1 book left. I read the first 3. I didn't like the first one. I loved the 2nd one, and the 3rd one was just okay. The 3rd one was way too long. It did not need to be that long. I have seen Heather talk about how the 4th book is her favorite in the series, so I am inclined to read it. I do want to finish it. I also own it already, so I don't have an excuse not to read it. I think they're also on Kindle Unlimited though, so you can check them out there. Yeah, I think I do want to finish it because I loved the 2nd book, and if Heather loves the 4th, then maybe I too will love the 4th. Number 3 is the Kings of Sin series by Anna Huang. I read King of Wrath. I have it right here. And it was fine. It was nothing to write home about. I think it was very similar in like writing style and kind of the feelings that I had as Twisted Love, the first in the Twisted series. So I am not inclined to read any more. I don't own any more in the series. I also think it's an unfinished series too, which I don't need to get into it, you know? So yeah, I probably will not be finishing that series. Number 4 is the Chestnut Springs series. It's right here. I've read the first 3. No, I've read the first 4. I own only 3 though, and there's one more book in the series, so I still need to read Hopeless. I love these books. Also, Chestnut Springs by Elsie Silver, if I didn't say the author. I love all of these books. I'm actually dragging my feet to finish it. I have it downloaded on my Kindle to read it, and I don't want to because I don't want to leave this world and these characters, so I'm dragging my feet, and might take me a while to finish it just because I don't want to. But I do want to read the Rose Hill series, which is connected. It's another like interconnected standalone series by Elsie Silver, and I've heard really good things about those books, and I want to finish this series by her before I get into those. And I do own the first book in that series, so maybe that'll get me to finish Chestnut Springs sooner, so that way I can read Rose Hill. But yeah, love these. Definitely going to be finishing them. Number 5 is the Caraval series by Stephanie Garber. I read the first book. It was just so chaotic. I don't know if her writing style is for me. I do own all 3 books, so I want to finish them. It was an interesting story, so I am interested in reading them. I'm just not in a rush. I do really want to read the Once Upon a Broken Heart series that I guess comes after this series, so maybe that will get me to finish this Caraval series, but I'm not in a rush to do it, unfortunately. Number 6 is The Elements of Cadence duology by Rebecca Ross. I read A River Enchanted and I loved it. I gave it 5 stars. I loved her writing style. I loved the magic system. I loved the world. I loved all of it. I ate it up and then just never read the second book. I have it downloaded on my Kindle because I think it's on Kindle Unlimited, but haven't gotten to it. I want to though. I'm just not dying to continue on. Number 7 is the Love Light series by B.K. Borison. I actually never read the first book in the series, but I read the second book. These are interconnected standalone like little romance, small town romance books. I'm kind of on the fence about finishing this series, especially because I never read the first one. I don't see myself ever going back and reading the first one, but maybe I'll continue. Number 8 is the Prince of Sin series by Carrie Maniscalco. I read the first one, Throne of the Fallen, and I really enjoyed it. I loved it. I also read her, what is that series called? I also read her Kingdom of the Wicked series, and I really enjoyed that, which is why I started reading the the Prince of Sin series. I do own the second book that was just released at the end of last year, Throne of Secrets. I have started reading it. I think I'm like a quarter of the way through it, and I do want to finish it. I just got distracted with other books and I just filmed a reading vlog, so I needed to read specific books. So I do plan on picking this one back up. I think it'll be my next read. I will 100% be continuing with all of the books that she releases in the series. Okay, number 9 is the Ice Planet Barbarian series. You guys, first of all, don't judge me. I can feel it already. Don't judge me. Second of all, this is like a soap opera. This is like how our grandparents, our moms, whoever used to tune in and watch Days of Our Lives every single day, and it just kept going on and on and on forever. That's this series, and it's just fun. Okay, I'm gonna be real. I don't know how many total books there are in this series. It also starts to interconnect with other series that she's written. I think that I've read 18 books, and there's more. There's for sure more. I got to a point where the reading order got really complicated and I had to read books in a different series in order to not spoil things for me in the Ice Planet Barbarian series. So it got too complicated and I just kind of stopped reading. But these are super fast paced, and like I said, they're basically like soap operas just on Kindle Unlimited, and they're so fun. I have been thinking about rereading them, which sounds crazy. I don't think I would read all 18 again, but I just really enjoyed like the storyline, like the whole being stuck on this alien planet. I don't know. I enjoyed it. Stop judging me. Also, Nana, if you're watching, don't worry about those books. Don't just ignore them. Move on to the next one. Thank you. Number 10 is the Dreamland Billionaire series by Lauren Asher. I read the first one, The Fine Print, and it was okay. It was really long, and I don't think that it needed to be that long. It was enjoyable. I went to UCF, and if you don't know, that is a college in Orlando, Florida. So naturally, I had an annual pass to go to Disney World whenever I had time. So me and my friends would go all the time, just on a random Tuesday. We'd just be at the park. So it was really interesting, and I enjoyed the whole behind the scenes of like a theme park situation. So all that to say, I am interested in continuing the series. I do have the second book downloaded on my Kindle from Kindle Unlimited. I would like to get to it, but I'm not in a rush. Number 11 is the Off-Campus series by Elle Kennedy. I think I've read the first 3, and I own the next one that I need to read, so I do want to read it. Again, I'm not really in a rush. I also haven't been in the mood for a hockey romance lately, which I think is the main reason I haven't continued it. But once I am in the mood for it again, you can bet your bippy that I'll be reading it. Number 12 is the Crowns of Nyaxia series by Carissa Broadbent. I read The Serpent and the Wings of Night, and I enjoyed it. It was good, but it didn't leave me on enough of a cliffhanger to get me to read the second book. I was actually pretty content with how it ended and was just like, okay, good for them. I really don't think that I'll end up finishing this series. It's just not a priority, and I heard some negative reviews of the second book, and if I'm content with the story, the characters, and the plot, I'm chilling. I don't need to. Also, so I have my list here where I wrote down all the series before I sat down to talk to you, so I wasn't yapping forever. Another one that I didn't write down is the Daughter of No World series by Carissa Broadbent. I read the first book and then never continued on, so that's number 13. I really liked the first one. I liked it a lot, and I read it really quickly, but I just was not, I don't know, I started the second book and it just wasn't hitting, so I moved on to something else. I don't know that I'm ever going to continue that series, but maybe. Number 14 is the Bridge Kingdom series by Danielle L. Jensen. I loved the first 2 so much. They're right here. I don't know, they're kind of cut off in camera. I read the first 2. I love them so much, and I do want to get into the third and finish the series. I just took a little break, took a little break. I will definitely get back into it. The first 2 books follow one main character, and then book 3 moves and follows and focuses on a different character. So it felt like a good place to take a little break. I'll get back into it. I just need a minute, Number 15 is the Lightlark series by Alex Astor. The first book was okay. I wasn't obsessed with it. I do have the next book on my shelf. I own it to continue reading it. I think there's 3, and all 3 are released now. The second one is called Nightbane. I did pick it up and start reading it, but I felt like I needed to go back and read the ending of Lightlark in order to understand what was going on. I feel like I rushed through. Actually, I don't know. Did I rush through the ending, or did the author rush through the ending of Lightlark? I'm not sure. But either way, I would need to reread the ending in order to keep reading the series. I am interested in finishing it. It was an interesting kind of like plot twist at the end but it was confusing again, like I said. So yeah, I am interested. I think we'll get there eventually. Maybe this year. I don't know. Number 16 is the Powerless trilogy by Lauren Roberts. I don't know if I don't think the third one is out yet. I think only the first 2 are out. I didn't love the first one when I read it, and then I didn't hear the best reviews about the second book, so I'm fine. There's also the powerful novella that exists in this world, which I'm not gonna read it. I don't know. Number 17 is the Roots of Chaos series by Samantha Shannon. The first book in the series is The Priory of the Orange Tree, which is a massive brick of a book that I did read, surprisingly. But this is like a high fantasy, very complicated, like 900 pages, I think. I liked the storyline, but it just did not need to be that long, and it did not need to be written so difficult to read. I will not be reading any more books in this series, and probably will not read any more from this author. But even if I did like the writing style, the books that she's releasing in this series are all prequels. I read, I guess, book 1, and so then she released a book 0, and is now also releasing a book 0.5. Let's continue the story. Let's stop going back in time. But yeah, no chance. I will not be continuing the series. Number 18 is actually the latest book that I finished because, of course, I read the first book in a new series. This is the Shadow and Bone trilogy by Leigh Bardugo. I really enjoyed it. I liked the first book. I gave it 4 stars, but I enjoyed the first book, and I am interested to see how the series goes. I don't own the rest of the books in the series, so I don't know. I think it'll be a while before I continue it, but I am interested in continuing it. The next group of books are all books that I have finished reading every book that is published. So the series isn't finished, but I have finished reading what is available. First and foremost is the A Court of Thorns and Roses series by Sarah J. Maas. I'm waiting very patiently for any announcement on when the next book is going to be released, and we're all just waiting. We all are. Number 2 is the Crescent City series by Sarah J. Maas. I've read all 3 books that have been released. I'm here for it. I'm ready for more. I've enjoyed them. I think we got to a point where Bryce's story is like kind of wrapped up, so we'll be moving on and following a new character, which again, I am here for it. Just come on, Sarah, give me some books to read. Number 3 is the Fourth Wing / the Empyrean series by Rebecca Yarros. I just finished reading the 3rd book in the series that came out earlier this year, Onyx Storm. I loved it. I absolutely ate it up, and I cannot wait to continue reading more books. I am currently very content with how that book ended. The first 2 books ended on major cliffhangers, and I was unwell, but this one left me in a chill space in comparison. So I'm just chilling. Also, I'm pretty sure Rebecca is chilling too. She's not in a rush to continue writing. She hasn't even started writing it yet. So I think nobody is in a rush right now. Number 4 is the When in Rome series by Sarah Adams. I just finished reading book 3, Beg, Borrow, or Steal, and I loved it. I listened to it on audio and it was so good. I want to buy a physical copy of it. So there's one more sister that needs a story, and I imagine she's going to be getting a book, and I really want her book. So I will definitely be finishing that when that book comes out. Also, preface this by saying there's no announcement. I just am assuming there's going to be a 3rd book. We don't know. Number 5 is the Drowned Gods trilogy by Pascal Lachon. Not sure how to say her name, but these books right here, Curious Tides and Stranger Skies, I have read those 2 books. The 3rd book is not announced yet. I don't think that there's a release date. Book 2, Stranger Skies, was just released at the end of last year, and I absolutely ate it up. Both of those books got 5 stars from me. Loved them. There is also a short novella that's technically a prequel to this. I think it's maybe 80 pages, 100 pages. I haven't read it. I don't feel like I need to read it, honestly, but maybe I will. Who knows? When she releases more books in the series, I will be reading them immediately. Number 6, I put a question mark next to, but it's the Maple Hill series by Hannah Grace. I don't know if she's going to be releasing more books in this series. I hope she does. And if she does, I will continue to buy them immediately and read them and eat them up because I love this series. And finally, number 7 is the Coven of Bone series by Harper L. Woods. Book number 3 is titled The Damned, and it is set to release in October of this year. I think I'll read it. I read The Coven and The Cursed, and I enjoyed them. Yeah, if you like a little vampire witchy romance, definitely check them out. So if you were following along and counting the total number, I have started 30 book series and not finished them. To be fair, I don't plan on finishing all 30, but I do think it's kind of crazy that I have started 30. And I posted a poll on my Instagram asking how many book series people are in the middle of right now, and basically everyone has said that they're in the middle of like 1 to 10, and here I am at 30. So, but if you want to participate in polls like that, definitely follow me on Instagram. Link will be down below. That is it. Those are all the book series that I am in the middle of. Again, if you made it to the end, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Join the family for more bookish content. And like I said, comment down below if you think any of these are worth finishing that I don't plan on finishing, or if there's any that I plan on finishing that you're like, girl, don't waste your time. I also would love to know how many book series you're in the middle of, so do a quick little tally and comment it down below as well. That's it. So my Instagram, Goodreads, and TikTok are all linked down below if you want to follow me there to stay more up to date on what I'm reading and doing. I also have my Patreon link down below if you want to support the channel, support me, and support my growing library, so maybe I can buy the books in the series that I want to finish. That is it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!